So, I hope this is an improvement in regards to the sound. I messed up on the last one. So, today's topic is past decisions and the effect they have on the present. Because it is all your fault. It is all my fault. Every single decision that we took in the past informed our present. Therefore, every single thing that happens to us is our fault. And I know, there's people that don't understand this. But everything that you think is bad that happened to you, you also attracted it to you. And there's a reason for it to happen to you, and there's a reason that it happened to you at this certain moment, and the way it happened, and in that severity it happened. So there's always something to learn. There's always something to to take from this. And every single thing that happens to you where you think, man, why is that happening now? Why does that hurt so much? Why does that cost so much? Why again? All that kind of stuff, it's all happening for you. It really is. And the longer you wait, the more you will find out, Sometimes you'll find out quickly afterwards, but usually it will all make sense a bit later on. If you're able to see that, that's the crucial part. You walk through life with open eyes and ears, or are you numbed and intoxicated and half blind, which I was, for a good part of my life so far. And why that topic came up this morning is because I am going through, a phase where I'm shedding old stuff, where I'm closing old companies, where I'm, selling stuff that I thought was important, where I am changing things up and quite drastically, where plans that I've made 4 or 5 years ago just don't make any sense anymore. With children, you have to be flexible, and stuff that I deemed important before I had children and I invested in simply don't make any sense anymore, right? And sometimes it's good to shed those things off, right? Because you need to make room for new opportunities to arise, for new projects to be able to come to fruition, and for new partnerships to come into your life. Because if you're clinging on to that old shit all the time, there's no room for new. There's no room for anything with a different frequency. And I sincerely hope for you that you're slowly, upping your frequency and your vibration, and you're going that way and not downward. And then especially if you're going upward, especially then it's so important to cut off that crap on the bottom, right? Which back then was your baseline, let's say, but now your baseline is on a different level, and it's good that way. And that also includes old friends and people around you that just don't match your frequency anymore. There's no shame in cutting off people, and you don't have to cut them off actively. You just have to let it be, and you will see they won't call you and you won't call them, and that's it. That's how that relationship will end, because the other party, they can feel that it's not a match anymore. If you don't go out drinking on a Friday and you come back on a Sunday morning with them to your place and you just do an after party, and That was the whole friendship. Once that stops, there's no point in keeping that up anymore, is there? And in my program, that's one pillar that is quite crucial. It's like, just surround yourself with people that support your future you, that do not keep you in your current state. Because if you're still in active addiction, there's nothing worse than being surrounded with people that have no interest in progressing in life, and they're happy where they are, and that's totally fine. They're on a different timeline than you are, and they will maybe have their epiphany at some later point. They will have their breaking point at some later point. They will have their lesson at a later point, and that's totally fine. But you don't have to hold their hand for it. You have your own shit to work through, and you have your own life to live, and your own work to do. And so it's crucial to just let those relationships be and focus on you for a while. Practice solitude. It doesn't have to mean that you're lonely, but solitude. So crucial. Get out of the city if you're in the city. Find yourself, a place to live close to nature, close to some forest, close to a field where you can just walk, and where you feel the nature surrounding you, and where you feel the energies of the plants and the air and water. Go to a river, go to a lake, jump in. It doesn't matter if it's fucking freezing. Get out of that 9 to 5 buzz and that quickness of life. You have to slow down now. If you still have to go to work, totally fine, but see where you can find that balance. If you cannot move out of your current apartment and your current surroundings, there are different ways you can offset that for a bit. Make sure you have weekends. Do more work during the week, and so you can fuck off on the weekend and take 2 days off and go to nature then. But don't jeopardize sleep, don't jeopardize your nutrition, don't jeopardize your relationships, don't jeopardize your own well-being for the work. If it means that you need to cut down on your own well-being, and that you need to slow down your own progress with your healing in order for you to fulfill your job, and in order for you to be good at your job, then maybe it's time to think about changing that role and changing that job, and or run that business in a different way. If you're a leader, if you're running a business, if it consumes you, if the reason for your stress level is the work, look for ways to find balance. Maybe employ another assistant. Maybe sell part of the business that you don't enjoy doing. Focus on your genius, on your zone of genius. Focus on that part of the business that really brings you profit, and not just the revenue. Because I know from experience, especially with cocaine and alcohol, like, that ego speaks to you all the time. It's like, hey, I just need that revenue. That revenue needs to be high. It looks so good when I look at these numbers, and it's just growing and growing. But your profit, what about your profit? What's your EBITDA? What is it really saying? Are you just building a business to look good to the outside and to other people, or are you doing it to feed your family? Think about that. And I'd love to invite you to sit still for a bit, try to lower your consumption and your intake. If you can, go to a spa over the weekend and try to detox for a bit. And one day after you've detoxed, when you're kind of sober, which you aren't, but you're way more sober than during the week, right? Once you've worked through those 24 hours, 48 hours of no intoxication, no new intoxication, try to go for a long walk. Try to go to the forest, try to go into nature, and then think about what I just said. Think about the way you run your business. Think about the way you run your family. What is just that fakeness that you've put on top of that business, top of that way of living, that you don't actually need, and that doesn't bring you any benefit whatsoever to anything that you do, and that is just blowing up your self-esteem on a fake level. So think about that, and then let's talk about it.